Here we go into game 2 of Complexity's rsvp versus ePGimix on Shattered Temple. rsvp had a very strong Stalker Zealot push in that first game, and he was able to take it on Crevasse, which is a very big map, so it's really interesting to watch. And this map, they are going to be in close by air positions, but spawning as our green Terran, we have ePGimix, who, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, has been showing up very well as far as recent Playhem tournaments go. He has been breaking in the top 8 a lot, or as of recently, and spawning in the north position, we do have Complexity's rsvp, who with a very strong 3-gate, only 3-gate push last game, was able to take out ePGimix just because Gimix did not have enough units and just invested so much into 2 or 3 Reapers, and that just took out build time from Marines and Marauders, and he was not able to hold off about, I'd say, a 5 or 6 Stalker and a few Zealot push. So also, you guys, if you have any feedback whatsoever for me, please let me know in the chat. If I'm doing good, bad, horrible, you guys don't want me to go crawl under a rock or something, definitely let me know. Any feedback right now is good feedback, especially starting out. Definitely any help that I can get, I will take it. So, as we see, ePGimix is going to elect to block off his base with supply depots and barracks. And rsvp is throwing down his gateway at 13, so no cheese coming out of either one of these players at the moment. And we do see Gimix is going to send out that SCV as a scouting SCV, and we do have rsvp sending out his scouting probe. So pretty much rsvp throwing down his assimilator, first gas on 15, and we do have this probe kind of chasing after that SCV. Threw him a little sucker punch as they passed by. SCV went for a high five. That probe decided that he was not going to be a kind person and punched that SCV right in the face. But ePGimix is going to go around, scout out rsvp's base at the moment, as Gimix is just going to throw a little bit of harassment onto that SCV. Gosh, that is so annoying, especially if you are a Terran player and you do have your worker killed by a probe that you absolutely did not notice. And we see SCV going out probably to complete that wall off. Yeah, he is going to try to complete that wall off. He will, and rsvp will attack that with his probe again. And some good stutter step micro from that Marine, and that probe does 10 damage to that Marine, and this SCV has been able to scout out everything that is going on in rsvp's base, which isn't really that interesting. Pretty much standard play so far. rsvp throwing down a Psychor and a gateway right now. Probe is going to take control of that Zelnagitar, so give rsvp vision for a slight second before he decides that he needs the mining time back from that probe. And we see that I need to set my status as busy at the moment. My bad. But we see that Gimix is not electing to go for that early Reaper again. Instead, he is actually going to get out Marauders, as rsvp is going to send out this Zealot across the map. And this Zealot is not going to be very happy to see that this Marine Marauder are kind of standing guard at the base of, or at the bottom of the ramp for ePGimix, and he is sending out a Stalker also. So this is kind of indicative of what happened last time whenever rsvp threw down a couple more gates and expanded, and also came in with a big Stalker and Zealot push. But Gimix is actually prepared for that right now. He is right now getting combat shields. I kind of would have liked to have seen, based on last game, him go for concussive shells at the moment, but oh well, to each their own. Combat shields, that extra 10 health for Marines is actually very good, allows them to stim a little bit more. But we see these 2 Stalkers and this 1 Zealot are going to push up this ramp, pull that supply depot back up. They're going to be able to see what's going on. There is a, I almost said a supply depot on that barracks, but there is a tech lab on the barracks, so rsvp kind of in a good position right now. Throws down 1 gate expand, I believe. Yep, 1 gate expand, throws on his Nexus, just poking out, putting a little pressure on Gimix to kind of allow him to expand behind it. But we do have 3 racks right now down for Gimix, so, and 1 with a reactor, so that is a potential 4 racks push. And we do have some SCVs coming out, so we are going to see a 3 racks push from Gimix here. Probably going to be able to punish rsvp for expanding so early. And we see 2 more gateways going down for rsvp, as this as this push is moving across the map for Gimix, and he is streaming in more units after units, he is getting stim also about, I'd say, an eighth of the way done. However, rsvp has his units in a very nice position to be able to snipe out upon a couple of those Marines, I'd say. Yeah, 2 of those Marines. So that was very nice by rsvp, sitting with 5 stalkers right now, going to be able to snipe out 3 Marines so far, just from that rally point from Gimix. And Gimix here is going to push in. He is going to try to kite these zealots as much as possible. Probes are going to come off the line, do a lot of damage, look for a surround on those units. And these stalkers are pretty much just going to do what they do best, and that is just melt Marines and, well, even right now, Marauders. So rsvp is going to be able to hold this very easily, as this bunker is most likely going to be cancelled. And no, it is not. So Gimix is actually going to lose the full 100 minerals right there that it took to build that bunker. So Gimix should get back in his base and try to hold this next push coming from rsvp. We see 5 stalkers, this probe coming out to throw down a reinforcing pylon. We do see a robotics bay that has gone down in rsvp's base, warping out an observer right now. And these Marauders still do not have concussive shells to slow down those stalkers. So rsvp also just pokes the top of Gimix ramp again. He is bringing in another warp prism. We saw him use warp prism a little bit earlier, so kind of interested to see how he's going to use his warp prism right now. If he's going to do the same little stalker play or what. But we see this observer coming out. Command center is going down for Gimix, so he is looking to expand finally, and he is throwing down a factory. So we see rsvp has a probe down here at the gold to make sure that Gimix has not taken an expansion behind his earlier push, and we see a scan probably going to come out on this observer. Maybe not just yet. He does not have enough for scan. Oh, he does have enough for a scan. However, he does not use it. He's probably just going to call down another mule or something. But we do see an immortal coming out. Where is that warp prism? I have no clue. Oh, warp prism on his way over to Gimix base. And we see warp prism just chilling there. Going to warp in 3 zealots at the moment to kind of wreak havoc on Gimix SCV line. And they are going to be able to do some damage. I counted at least 2 or 3 SCVs going down right there. Maybe a 4th right there. Let's check it out. 8 workers killed for rsvp at the moment. So rsvp is looking very strong. You got to consider 4 of those workers killed were the 4 that Gimix sent in with that earlier push. rsvp is going to knock down these back blocks and look to take a third at this base back here. So rsvp playing very strong again, also throwing down a forge and a robotics bay in his base. So rsvp once again looking like a very strong player, big contender in this tournament. We see Gimix now with almost, I'd say about almost mined out at his, or wouldn't say almost mined out at his main, but getting there slowly but surely. rsvp has that robotics bay in there. I'm expecting Colossus to start being produced any second now after this immortal. So we see rsvp has not thrown down another expansion, a third right now, but he doesn't really need it at the moment. And we don't really see a whole lot going on at the moment. Just Gimix does have these 7 Marines, 8 Marines maybe, 2, 4, 6, 8 Marines on patrol to make sure that no warp prism is going to get into his base and drop any more zealots, so that his SCV line is safer now. We do see these sentries coming out as a group to absolutely demolish that SCV, so it is not going to get any real scouting information, except that, well, there are sentries there. And as we see, Gimix is going to be able to look up that ramp and be able to snipe off a couple of stalkers. So not really, maybe getting a little bit back to even, but rsvp is starting to pump out Colossi. He is supply blocked at the moment, or not really supply blocked, but he just cannot build any more Colossi at the moment. So we see 3 pylons going down for rsvp. We do have push moving across the map for Gimix. I do not know if he knows that Colossus are out on the field, because that Colossus is actually absolutely going to rip through all of those Marine Marauders. And we see Gimix is going to pull back as quickly as possible, and rsvp is actually going to look like he's going to attack into this now with his one Colossus. He's looking very powerful, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. Gimix is going to have to be able to hold this. And we see some force fields going down for rsvp, trying to cut that army in half just a little bit too late on the trigger. But we do have a warp prism going down, and the zealots being warped in again as rsvp just continuing up the harassment. We do see 4 more workers have gone down for Gimix, and we do see a Ghost Academy now down for Gimix as that warp prism finally does die to those patrolling Marines. And Ghost Academy going down, or it's already gone down, so probably going to see some ghosts come out for some very nice EMPs. EMPs still very, very helpful for Terran, and rsvp does have his 3rd up and running right now. Looking at the units counting tab, rsvp has 67 probes, 70 now, to Gimix 41 SCVs. Not even mules can make up that big of a difference at the moment. Going back to the production tab, we do see level 1 ground attack. There we go. Level 1 ground attack being upgraded for both players, and I don't know how many. Let's look at the unit counting station. We do have 3 Colossi out on the field for rsvp, and already with extended thermal lands already. As you can tell, Colossi absolutely amazing. We do see charge going down, and also level 2 armor for Protoss. So Vikings coming out on the field right now for Gimix, but just wondering how much Gimix can hold back with straight Bioball army against this force right now of rsvp. rsvp is sitting on 181 supply right now to Gimix 133, so almost a 50 supply advantage, and rsvp is throwing down a few more gateways. Right now is sitting at 8 gateways, and he is, as I mentioned earlier, he is researching charge, using that factory to kind of scout around, make sure that nothing's going on. And we do have these 2 stalkers and 2 zealots patrolling to make sure that no real threat's gonna come, no medevacs, no drop play or anything like that. We do have some High Templar being warped in along with Psionic Storm, so rsvp pretty much just doing everything right. The ghosts are actually going to be key in this next engagement whenever it should happen. EMPs are going to have to go out absolutely perfectly on the High Templar and the sentries. And we see rsvp moving across the map. He is taking a gold base at the moment, and he is warping in another Archon. We see rsvp coming in, maybe throwing down a reinforcement pylon here fairly shortly. He does have, oh, never mind, he does have a reinforcement pylon already down at Gimix gold base. So here comes a push for rsvp, just taking out that first barracks is going to go down. We see this command center floating over to this 3rd position, and rsvp, here he comes. As we see the EMPs go down, very nice EMPs from Gimix. However, the storms do go down on all of his Bioball army, and this is probably just going to be able to melt away a lot of his army. As we see the Colossi are going down to this nice number of Vikings, and Gimix is going to be able to hold, even with some nice storms going down from rsvp. Very nice hold from Gimix. So, I don't know if Gimix really has enough to counterattack, but he's going to have to do something pretty soon, because he will need to do some damage, because rsvp right now does have a gold base up, not running just yet, but I'm pretty sure that it will be running as soon as these probes have nowhere to go. Yep, rsvp most likely sending those probes over to that gold base, and rsvp already has a lot of zealots out on the field. Let's check out exactly how many he has. 19 zealots back out on the field to, well, just to kind of put it in perspective for you guys. rsvp has 19 zealots. Gimix has 19 Marines and Marauders combined at the moment, so rsvp's macro is very strong, already back up to 166 supply to Gimix 117, and he might be looking to push out again with another push of, well, this one looks like it's going to be Zealot, High Templar, and maybe one or two other units, miscellaneous other units. We'll just leave it at that. Now as you see, rsvp is taking another base down here. His +3/+3 is coming up right now. His +2/+2 is coming up for our Terran player. So as you guys probably already know, +3 eats +2 any day of the week. And we see Blink going down for rsvp right now. rsvp just such good macro, already up to 197 supply. He is probably going to look to take out this third base for Gimix, and rsvp is sending in his Zealots and Stalkers to this third base of Gimix. Going to be able to deal a lot of damage. Oh, maybe not, as Gimix kind of sees that with his sensor tower, and rsvp backs up. Gimix is going to be able to mine safely for a little while. However, just looking at the units right now, Gimix just does not have a whole lot to combat what rsvp has. He has to get more Marines and Marauders out there to kind of complement the few ghosts that he has. And we see rsvp using that observer to scout out what Gimix has. Let's see exactly what that observer can see. Not a whole lot at the moment, but we do see rsvp getting in. Oh, a nice feedback going down on one of those medevacs, and Gimix actually only able to get one, I believe, one Zealot right there. And we can see this Ghost going out and sniping that High Templar. Very nice snipe by Gimix. So there are, I believe, 2 more High Templar in this army, and there's only 5 High Templar back on the field at the moment. We do see scans going down for Gimix. However, rsvp, just look at that. He is sitting on right now 3,000 banked minerals and 2,000 banked gas. And here comes the big push from rsvp. These Zealots are absolutely going to shred through this Marine Marauder army, and Storm's going down on this Bioball army. Just going to be able to deal a lot of damage right here. And charge already done on those Guardian Shield pop. Zealots or Marine Marauders actually get themselves in a nice little concave. However, Zealots just too big in numbers. As we see again, my graphics are, or my computer is lowering the game speed or whatever. But GG comes out from Gimix. Great games from both players. Good luck to rsvp and the rest of the tournament. Great job by rsvp. Amazing macro. As we see, when the game ends, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases right now. So rsvp, great macro. I don't know what more to say. Had 3k banked minerals and 2k banked gas going into that last push. Just absolutely amazing. He's going to be able to rebuild an army. Even if Gimix was going to be able to hold that off, rsvp would have remaxed in a heartbeat and been able to take out just about everything Gimix had.